Good morning students, this is Dr. Shirisha, Associate Professor from CSE Department, MLR Institute of Technology. So in the previous sessions we have discussed so far about HTML, XML and also what is JavaScript, a client-side scripting language, and in this session we are moving further to Unit 3, that is Introduction to AngularJS. So what is AngularJS and why we need this? Okay, so till now you know what is a client-side and server-side programming. Client-side is what we develop a code, okay, for according to our requirement, okay. Then whatever the request we send, we need the responses from the server. So what does the server do? Server gives the responses and those server-side programming is required for getting those responses. So server-side programmings are, we have servlets, JSPs and all. So here we have AngularJS, which is Angular JavaScript. So here this is just a framework. Okay, so in this session I just wanted to tell you why we need a framework and what actually the framework is and how to write a program based on this framework. Okay, so download and installing the AngularJS also will be covered in this session. So moving further, so what is a framework? Why we need a framework? So when you wanted to work on something, so you need a software or you need that environment first. So to build up an environment, it takes time based upon the software that you wanted to use, based upon the technology that you wanted to use and based on the applications that you wanted to develop. So here we have to use a framework to work on AngularJS, and why we need this framework is, so in programming, framework is pre-established, means it's already set, everything is set priorly and we are just importing that and we are making making use of that, okay, or we are utilizing that. So pre-established set of tools, set of libraries and conventions. So if you see in JavaScript we have so many objects like document object model, like math object and different objects we have. So what we have to do, those libraries should support there, right? What are the math objects? So objects should support there, okay. So those are all resided, what are the mathematical operations that you have, like square root, okay, finding the square, okay. So like that, all that will be resided in what? The math object. So here also those libraries helps in writing a AngularJS. So there are set of tools, libraries and conventions, and together we are calling that as a framework. We need this framework to be installed in our client system or local system to work with AngularJS and execute its programs. Okay. So why we need these set of tools, libraries and conventions? What it provides? It provides a structured approach. So for everything we have a structure. If you take a HTML, so we are writing a HTML part within the HTML tags with the head part and body part. So this is the general structure of HTML. XML, we are writing a XML prologue statement, okay, with version and all. Then after that we will write root nodes and the child nodes. So this is how we write the program, but this is not a structure. For giving the structure, again we are using DTDs, document type definitions and schemas, which gives the structure. So like that, to use all this structure in JavaScript or in AngularJS, we have a structured approach. So to develop a software application, so we are using all these programming languages for developing an application. So it is essential a reusable foundation, okay, a reusable foundation. That means what? Whatever the framework you are using, if you are used it once, it's not that again you have to take the second framework. The same framework you will be using every time. So reusable foundation that helps developers streamline the process of creating the application. So many applications we create. Each and every application is unique with one another. Therefore, every application should be included with this AngularJS libraries or what are the framework we are talking about. So how to do that we'll see in a short while. Now providing the generic functionality and common patterns. So what are the generic functions, like if you have to integrate that with the HTML, we can do it. AngularJS, we can integrate that with the HTML. So what we are doing, the functionality of that should be as is. So it should not change. So it provides a generic functionality. Whatever the functionality, suppose if I am writing H1, if you are including that inside the script, H1 will work as H1 only. It will give you the font size of larger font size. So the usage of that will be same. So frameworks are reusable, and frameworks typically include a collection of pre-written code. So in JavaScript, AngularJS, there is a collection of pre-written code and libraries that handle the common task. What are those tasks? Such as database access, user authentication, input validation, and routing. So what frameworks include? They have a pre-written code and libraries are also available. According to our requirement, we import or we use those libraries to work with the databases or to work with the applications. So you can either do all these things. You can work on databases like inserting, adding, uploading, accessing it, modifying it, etc. User authentication, like giving a login forms like username and passwords. Once the username and password are same, then only the user can log in, otherwise they can't log. That is called as authentication, user authentication. Input validation, suppose if there is something like phone number should be input, okay, should be given by the user. If this phone number is given as XYZ, so this is wrong, because phone numbers should be given as what? Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Okay, so that validation, and this number of digits also should be 10. So that sort of validation can be done using this framework AngularJS and routing, providing the network within the systems distributedly or centrally. Okay, so by using a framework, developers can focus more on specific requirements of the application. Obviously, developers, what they will do, what are the requirements of your application, that one should know before developing any problem or any project. So for that also this framework is used, instead of reinventing the wheel for every project. So every project you need not again develop or make use of the same environment or the same framework that has been developed. You need not again rebuild it, okay, to use it. So that is what in reinventing the wheel. It means again from the scratch you need not do anything. Okay, so this is what the framework is. Just in one word you can say it is a pre-established set of tools, like it's a environment where you can use for developing the applications. So why we need framework? What are the advantages? So it helps to avoid duplicate and redundant code. Suppose if you are using if you wanted to write any function or write any code for developing some library, then if the same code is used multiple times, as a duplication, right? So the same code should not be used every time. You need to just call the library and use it. You need not to write entire code every time wherever you are using the package or everywhere wherever you are using the library. So to avoid the duplication, this framework is used. It makes it easier for the developers who did not write the code to test and debug it. So we need not write the separate code for testing, separate code for debugging it. Okay, so easier. It makes us easy where we are directly getting that framework for developing our applications. Frameworks are maintained by a group of people who test them so that you can use them with confidence. So group of people, they are managing these frameworks. So when we are writing some application, there is some application, something like this, you are writing your script in between that. Okay, so what happens? So all this code you have to manage because this is your requirement. According to your requirement, you are writing the logic here. Who will do this? The user will do this. That means myself, I will do as a programmer. So, but when the framework is developed by this group of people, if you are using your framework here in the script, just you are writing, you are using that links here and you are using for AngularJS. So, these links whatever you are using will be managed by this set of people, and therefore you are just taking that into your program and building your application. Therefore, you confidently you can develop your applications. So, they help you to write clean and secure code. So, with the help of this HTML and with the help of the JavaScript knowledge, you can easily write this AngularJS code. Time required to develop an application significantly reduced because you can now focus on writing specific code, project specific code. You need not write again starting from the HTML script, again the CDN links. We have separate links where you wanted to link it or integrate that with the HTML. So, that I am talking about. So, that and all this is not necessary. So, whatever specifically you wanted to make changes in the application, only that part you can focus. This is the meaning of this. So, time required. Therefore, you are not distracting from the specific code, means whatever the specific requirement of your application to what you have to do from scratch. So, that is not required. Okay. So, this is one more very useful thing where we use this framework. It provides us these advantages. Okay. Now, we will go through how to download and how to install the AngularJS. So, there are two ways where we are going to use AngularJS. One is you have to download it from the open source, that is the internet, and the other will be the CDN links where it provides the links directly, and importing that links into your program, you can execute your application. So, how we will see. So, first thing, step 1, you have to download the AngularJS. So, one is the downloading, okay, and visit the official website. We have angularjs.org. There you can visit. Angularjs.org will provide you the complete project documentation of whatever related to your AngularJS is provided in this official website. Click download button from that home page, and version you can select the current version or the updated version you can select, and you can download it. Okay, and latest stable version is recommended, that we will see. Okay, so choose to download the compress, that means zip file, or get the CDN links. Both are okay. So, this is the first type of how do we download. Second is without downloading, if your internet is provided, you can directly take help of the CDN link and get your programs executed. Okay. So, let me show you what is this official website. Okay, this is the official website. We have angularjs.org. Try the new Angular, download AngularJS. We can go with the download AngularJS. Here it will show you what are the latest and versions you have. So, among these versions, you can select the compress. This is zip file. Okay, and simply you can download it. I need not select zip file. Let me select zip. Okay, and download. So, if you are not selecting zip file, the page which has been opened before will get open. So, select the zip file, therefore, you will get that zip file downloaded. Okay, let me open this. So, this is the AngularJS folder. So, you can just copy this and put it in the C drive. So, Angular 1.8.2 is the latest version, that is already there. So, this is also the same. So, already it is there. So, I am skipping this. Okay. So, Angular 1.8.2. If you open this, you will have all the required files here, source files of the AngularJS. So, this is the path you have to follow for our programs. Okay. So, let me continue with the PPT. And here we have done this part. So downloaded part we have seen. Get the CDN link. So CDN links are also available. So that also we'll see. So I'm just giving CDN links for AngularJS. Okay. So we have so many here, CDN.js, Cloudflare, okay, Ajax libraries. So any one of these you can copy and you can use. Just you can take this and copy this and you can use it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Any of them you can use in your program. Therefore, so extract the files. We have extracted the files and downloaded the zip files. Extracted contents to a directory of your choice. We have put it in the C drive. Include AngularJS in your project. So we have to include our AngularJS. How? So in our HTML, AngularJS library has to be included by adding a script tag. So you know, by using a by using the script tag only in JavaScript we have executed the programs. The same script code will be used for AngularJS also. If you download the compressed zip file, locate AngularJS file in the extracted directory and add the following script tag. So what is this? So here you will have a script tag. In between that you use the attribute. So this is the element you have to use, script element. This is the attribute you have to use. What is the attribute? Path to AngularJS. Where is the path to AngularJS? So this is the path to AngularJS. So here you can just right click, go to properties, and here you have the path, or simply by clicking here you can take it. Okay, this path what we will do, we have to paste it here. Okay, so I'll just to show you where to paste it. So here in the source, so path to AngularJS, here we will just paste it like this. And here after pasting, here you have to give Angular.js, because if you see here Angular 1.8 is having Angular file, okay, JavaScript source file, this one. So this has to be retrieved here. Okay, so if you see here, see Angular 1.8.2 AngularJS, this is copied. Okay, like that you can do. Then, so this is one way of executing. If your installation is successful, you can put this file, whatever the path you have, this path you can put it in the source attribute as a value and you can include that in the script tag. Okay. Then if you opted for CDN links, so the links which I have been shown you, so these are the links. So you can copy this link here and here you can put it. So you can include them directly in the HTML file where you have to put again source. In the source either you can give the path for AngularJS, okay, Angular.js, or copy that path here, CDN link here. So in either of the ways you can execute your program. Now start using your AngularJS. Once AngularJS is included in your project, you can start using its features by adding AngularJS directives, controllers, expressions. So the basic thing that you wanted to learn in AngularJS, once you know the installation, we have to know what are directives, what are controllers and what are expressions. If you know this, you can write your AngularJS code. So this will be integrated with your HTML code obviously, because HTML is used for presentation. As you are writing a HTML code, so whatever the code that you are writing inside the HTML, this part is for presentation logic. Presentation logic we call it, and whatever the code that you are writing in between this script tag, so script followed by source. So here you have to give source, whatever the CDN link or whatever the path that you have to give, that you need to give. So here whatever you are writing, this we are calling this as a business logic, that means a backend business logic. So presentation logic will completely based upon the view of your web page or your application, presentation view, and this business logic will be validating your code. Okay, So this is the business logic. Go with this AngularJS. One is AngularJS directives, 2 is controllers, 3 is expressions. All these 3 we have to learn. I hope you all understood how to download the AngularJS. There are 2 ways. One is directly going to official website of AngularJS, get the zip file downloaded, extract it to the particular location, and there AngularJS will be there. That particular directory you have to open, and file AngularJS file you need to copy, and that path need to be given into your script. The second way is you can directly go to the internet, and there you see your CDN links are available. Those CDN links can be taken and you can extract that into again source in the script tag in the HTML program. Then you can do it. So these are the 2 ways you can do. And in the session we have discussed about what is a framework and why we need framework. So we have discussed this. Hope you all understood. And thank you.